morning, good morning, good morning. Today is Monday, March 16th. Today is also our daughter's 6th birthday. She was a little disappointed this weekend because no one was coming to the house for her birthday, friends and family. And we tried to make it as a happy of a weekend as possible under the circumstances. Of course, in Delaware, it was declared that schools would be closed for 2 weeks, although I believe they'll be closed a lot longer, and I'll discuss that later in this video. But in order to try to bring some light to the current circumstances, I baked a cake for her. I let her help. We decorated it. And one of our bowling buddies stopped by the house, and for other reasons, but he stopped by the house, and we sang happy birthday to her on Saturday evening, and she was happy with that. But for a 6-year-old, there's certain things that they just don't understand, and she comprehends a lot for her age. She really surprises me how much she's able. I need to blow my nose and I can't get to the paper towels. Allergies. So she comprehends a lot for her age, and it really surprises me the logic that she uses for things. And then she becomes a 6-year-old again. But under the circumstances, she doesn't understand. She understands that there's a virus that's making people sick, but she is unhappy that she won't be able to see her friends, and she can't go to school, and no one can come to the house. And I understand. She's 6. And I feel bad for her. So now she's at the house with Big Dog. They were sleeping when I left. I'm actually on my way to work. I received a text message from my supervisor last night saying that we're going to have a conference call, because he's going to be in another office today, but we're going to, HR is having a conference call to discuss what we're going to do moving forward as far as if people will be able to work from home who can't work from home. There's some people that just can't work from home. I have been for at least, let me backtrack, actually, since I started my job almost a year ago, I was trying to figure out things that I can do from home, and I actually had requested remote access, which was denied because you can only get remote access for special projects. But even with this pandemic now that is affecting the entire world, I was thinking what things I could possibly do from home if I needed to. And my job is such that there's very little that I can do from home as far as work is concerned. So if a national quarantine is declared, which I strongly believe it will, and I'll discuss that in the video later, I don't think I would be able to really do much from home. It just is not my responsibilities, and the access I would need, there's not much I would be able to do from home. I wanted to come on today because what I'm noticing is I don't think people are taking this serious enough. I see people saying that it's being blown out of proportion. I also see that there are parents that are more concerned that they won't be able to go to work because their children now have to stay home, especially in New York. I'm from New York, and I see a lot of people angry. What are we supposed to do with the kids? How am I supposed to get to work? And I think sound logic and reasoning is not going out the window, it's being tossed out the window. There are a lot of things that people don't realize because they just don't know. If you're the average person, you go to work every day, you go home, you take care of family, and you're not in a position to know, you just don't know. And when I have friends who, when they make the same arguments, like, what are we supposed to do? How are we supposed to get to work? I share the knowledge that I have. I worked in the healthcare field as an HR person, and I also worked in telecommunications. So right now, although a lot of my knowledge is limited, it is enough to be able to give to people so that they can make sound decisions when it comes to the current circumstances. So, with that said, I saw people posting on Facebook, again in New York, that are very angry that the governor said that children would need to be home and that schools would be closed until April 20th. Now, it took him a long time to make that decision, to make that declaration. And I saw that people saying, when are they going to close the schools in New York? When are they going to close the schools in New York? Because if you've ever been to New York City, you know it's just a lot of people every day traveling all day long, 24 hours a day. That's what it is. The population there is ridiculous. That's why I'm thankful that we live in the country now. But there would be too many opportunities for the virus to spread if they did not close schools. So finally, the declaration was made on Saturday evening, Sunday morning, I can't remember, maybe Sunday morning, Sunday afternoon, that schools will be closed until April 20th. So you have some parents that are very happy, but then you have other parents that are asking, oh my gosh, how am I going to find a babysitter so I can go to work? How are we supposed to keep the kids home for over a month? The point of the declaration is not for you to go to work. The point of the declaration is for you to stay home with your children. The only people at this time that really need to find childcare are healthcare workers. Your doctors, your nurses, your nurse assistants, your specialists. Those are the people who right now need to find childcare in order to get to work. The rest of us should be staying home with this declaration. And right now it's going throughout the country that schools are closing. And I'm going to explain why I'm saying this, because I worked for a telecommunications company for 12 years. And what happens, and people may not know this, is during the crisis, if a state of emergency is declared for individual states, or like now, this is the first time in my life that I've known a national emergency to be declared on this level. Your utilities cannot be turned off. The utility company, I saw a post and things going around, we won't turn off your service, like utilities companies declaring we won't turn off your service during this time. Utility companies can't turn off your service during this time. Once there was a state of emergency declared, they can't is government regulated, they cannot turn off your services. You have your cable companies. I'm not going to mention them. Like I said, I used to work for a telecommunications company that offered telephone, television, all the service, internet. They can't turn off your service. The government is not going to allow them to turn off your television service at this point, because the government needs to stay in communication with the public. They need to provide as much information as fast as possible to citizens in order for us to know how to operate. Also, the reason why they can't turn off your service is because chaos would ensue if people were not receiving direction from the government. If the government was not able to communicate with people, it would cause people to panic. People would not know what is going on. They would not know what to do. So when you have cable companies that say, we will provide free service for the next 60 days, that wasn't their choice. So it's funny because Big Dog had actually paid our electric bill, and then later that day it was declared that utilities would not be turned off. And he made a joke. He said, well, if I would have known that, I wouldn't have paid the electric bill. It is what it is. What I'm noticing, and I noticed it some time ago, well, let me backtrack again. So March 3rd, I saw on social media everyone saying, wash your hands, wash your hands, wash your hands. And my mom was a nurse for a few years. She was a nurse in schools. Before she became a teacher. And my husband, Big Dog, taught health education for 20 years. So I would see all these posts about wash your hands, and I made a Facebook post saying, I see everyone talking about wash your hands, hand sanitizer, and that's great. We all should be washing our hands, but I didn't see anyone discussing social distance. So I posted on March 3rd about social distance, and like the news wasn't talking about it, nothing. So fast forward to now, social distance is discussed in every conversation now, and they're saying that you should maintain, under normal circumstances, it's 3 to 4 feet distance between the person that you're communicating with. But now they're saying that you should exercise at least 6 feet of distance under the circumstances to try to avoid this viral infection. So I just found it funny that it took almost 2 weeks for that to be addressed. So there were a lot of things that I was observing when it came to this whole situation, and in the back of my mind I thought to myself, they're going to declare a national quarantine. I didn't share with anyone. I started thinking about it weeks ago. It became a stronger thought when I saw President Trump make his first announcement that he was seriously stating that we had a situation. I don't usually watch President Trump because I don't like him. And I'm not going to get into that. I'll probably discuss that another time. But anyone who doesn't like President Trump already knows that the reasons, I found some tissue, the reasons why I would feel the way I do. And the funny thing is, I like almost everyone. I try to get along with almost everyone. And if you know me, you know that if I don't like someone, that I have a legitimate reason not to. So, with that said, I don't watch Trump very often because he's uneasy to my spirit. But I have felt the need to watch him, I guess about a week ago, probably a little less than a week ago. And this was the first time that I noticed that he was uncharacteristically calm. And I mentioned it on Facebook that he was unusually calm, and because he tends to not have any self-control. But I watched him, I listened to his words, and when you're someone like me, most of my life I've been a severe introvert, and when you're an introvert, you observe a lot. You observe a lot, you digest a lot, you take in a lot. I observe body language, I observe what is being said and what is not being said. And I'm pretty good at determining what's happening. And I listened to him and I thought to myself, along with the other knowledge that I had from our international friends, they're going to declare a national quarantine. And I didn't share with anyone at that time. I had someone reach out to me to say, okay, they received some knowledge. It's going to be a shutdown. It's going to be a lockdown, and people are going to have to stay in their homes. So thankfully, I mentioned in a previous video, I didn't have to run out and buy supplies and things like that because we normally buy things in bulk. But I just sat, and it wasn't panic didn't set in. It was a calming. I, shared information with family and friends to let them know that I believed that this was going to happen, that there was going to be a national quarantine. I watched a news brief yesterday again, and paid attention to Vice President Pence and the infectious control specialist, I believe his name is Dr. Fauci. I watched them and I listened to what they had to say. And I watched another specialist, unfortunately I don't have his name. He wasn't on the brief, he was